Stop me if this sounds familiar. You're constantly thinking about someone who barely texts back. You're refreshing their social media at 2 a.m. You're analyzing every word they said, every emoji they used, trying to decode what it all means. And here's what really stings. Deep down, you know something's wrong. This doesn't feel like strength. It feels like weakness, like you're shrinking, like you're becoming less. What if I told you this isn't about them at all? What if the person you're really losing is yourself? Let's talk about the brutal truth no one wants to admit. You might be becoming a low-value man, but more importantly, let's talk about how to fix it. Listen, this video isn't here to shame you. We've all been there. That desperate, obsessive place where we compromise our dignity for someone's attention. But there's a difference between a temporary stumble and a pattern. Between having feelings and losing yourself completely. Low-value behavior isn't about your bank account or your looks. It's about how you value yourself. And when that self-value drops, everything else crumbles, your confidence, your purpose, your relationships. The signs are subtle at first. Little compromises, small acts of self-betrayal, but they add up. And before you know it, you're unrecognizable to yourself. Today, we're going to identify the 8 warning signs you're slipping into low-value territory, and more importantly, the exact steps to reclaim your power. Because the truth is, you're not broken. You're just stuck in a pattern, and patterns can be broken. Let's get into it. The sign. Here's the hard truth. That intense feeling you have isn't love. It's desperation. You're not chasing a relationship. You're chasing proof that you're worthy. Every text you send, every favor you do, every time you bend over backward, it's all a courtroom argument where you're desperately trying to prove you're enough. But here's the problem. Real attraction doesn't require proof. Real relationships don't feel like a constant audition. If you're twisting yourself into knots, analyzing every interaction, replaying conversations looking for hidden meanings, you're not in love. You're in need. And people can smell neediness from a mile away. The fix: stop asking, "Am I enough?" and start asking, "Are they enough for me?" High-value men don't audition. They evaluate. They have standards. They walk into every interaction knowing their worth isn't up for debate. Start building your self-worth from the inside out. Hit the gym. Build your career. Develop your skills. Create a life so full that one person's opinion can't shake your foundation, because validation seeking is a bottomless pit. But self-respect? That's a fortress. The sign: be brutally honest. Are you in love with them, or with who you imagine they could be? You've built an entire fantasy around a few good conversations, a couple of kind gestures, maybe one vulnerable moment, and now you're in love with potential, with possibility, with the version that only exists in your head. Meanwhile, the real person keeps showing you who they are: inconsistent, emotionally unavailable, not that interested, and you keep ignoring it. You're not dating a person. You're dating a projection, and when reality inevitably crashes through, you feel devastated. But you're not grieving them. You're grieving someone who never existed. The fix: date reality, not potential. Judge people by their consistent actions, not their occasional words. Someone who's interested makes it obvious. Someone who wants you makes time. Someone who values you treats you with respect, consistently, not just when it's convenient. Stop writing mental fan fiction about people. See them clearly. And if what you see doesn't match what you need, have the courage to walk away. High-value men don't wait around hoping someone will change. They deal with what is, not what might be. The sign. Here's a painful realization. You've been conditioned to believe love should hurt. When someone's inconsistent, hot one day, cold the next, your nervous system goes haywire. That anxiety, that uncertainty, that knot in your stomach, you've been calling it chemistry, you've been calling it passion, but it's not. It's trauma response. Your body lights up because inconsistency triggers your old wounds. Maybe love was conditional growing up. Maybe you had to earn affection. So now when someone's steady and consistent, it feels boring. It doesn't register as love because your system doesn't recognize safety. So you chase chaos. You mistake anxiety for excitement. And you run from the very stability that would actually heal you. The fix. Redefine what attraction means to you. Real chemistry isn't a roller coaster. It's not constant drama and emotional whiplash. Real chemistry is someone who makes you feel calm, safe, and excited at the same time. Start noticing your patterns. Do you only feel drawn to people who are unavailable? Do healthy relationships feel boring? That's your trauma talking, not your truth. High-value men choose peace over chaos. They recognize that real strength isn't surviving the storm, it's refusing to date hurricanes. The sign. Every time they throw you a breadcrumb, a text, a compliment, a moment of attention, you get a hit of dopamine. You light up. You feel alive, and just like any addiction, you're not chasing the substance. You're running from the emptiness underneath. That void inside, the loneliness, the not enough feeling, the silence when you're alone with yourself. It's unbearable, so you chase the next hit, the next notification, the next validation. But every time you run toward them, you're running away from yourself, and that's where the real problem lives. The fix. Learn to sit with the void. Healing doesn't come from another person. It comes from facing what you've been avoiding. That silence, that emptiness, that's not the enemy. That's where your power lives. Start building a life you don't need to escape from. Find purpose. Develop passions. Build genuine friendships. Create goals that excite you. High-value men don't need external validation to feel whole. They've done the inner work. They're comfortable in their own skin, and that's magnetic. Stop using people as emotional painkillers. Face yourself. That's where freedom begins. The sign. Every time they don't respond, you spiral. Why don't they want me? What's wrong with me? But you never ask the deeper question, why am I chasing someone who doesn't want me? That question stings because it shifts the focus inward. Because it's not about their rejection, it's about your refusal to walk away. Why are you addicted to being ignored? Why do you keep knocking on doors that won't open? Why do you accept crumbs when you deserve the whole meal? Because walking away would mean facing a brutal truth. Part of you still believes you're only worth love when you earn it. The fix. Develop walkaway power. The moment you're willing to walk away from anything that doesn't serve you is the moment you become truly powerful. Stop making excuses for people who don't show up. Stop understanding why they can't commit. Stop waiting for closed doors to magically open. High-value men have boundaries. They know their worth, and they don't beg for what should be freely given. You don't earn love. You either receive it or you don't. And if you don't, you walk. That's not coldness. That's self-respect. The sign. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Staying obsessed with someone who doesn't love you back gives you an excuse not to move forward. You tell yourself you're being patient, loyal, hopeful, but really, it's fear. Because healing means change. It means facing the pain you've been avoiding, childhood wounds, abandonment, the belief that love has to hurt. So you stay in limbo. You write texts you never send. You hold space for someone who's not coming back. You keep the fantasy alive because letting go means facing reality. And reality means you have to change. You have to do the work. You have to become someone new. The fix. Choose healing over hope. Stop romanticizing your pain. This isn't loyalty, it's self-sabotage. Real healing means grieving the fantasy, mourning what never was, admitting that this situation isn't serving you. Find a therapist. Journal. Talk to friends who'll tell you the truth. Do the deep work of understanding why you're stuck. High-value men don't avoid pain, they transform it. They don't stay stuck in comfortable misery. They choose growth even when it hurts. The work is hard, but staying stuck is harder. The sign. You think this person is special, different. The one. But here's the truth. They're not special. They're familiar. The way they withhold affection. The way you have to chase, the way you never feel quite enough. You've felt this before, probably in childhood. Your nervous system recognizes this as home, even if that home was painful. So you confuse repetition with destiny. You mistake a trauma bond for a soulmate connection. The fix, break the pattern, zoom out. Look at your relationship history. Do you see a pattern? Do you keep choosing the same type of person in different packaging? Real love doesn't feel like replaying old wounds. It feels like healing them. High-value men learn from patterns. They break cycles instead of repeating them. They choose differently because they know better. Look, I know this hurts. I know letting go feels impossible right now. But here's what you need to understand. This isn't about them. This was never about them. This is about you reclaiming yourself. This is about breaking the spell and coming home to your own power. You don't need their love to prove you're worthy. You need to forgive yourself for ignoring your gut, for settling for crumbs, for all the years you spent loving people who couldn't love you back. Forgive yourself. Not because you did something wrong, but because you were surviving the only way you knew how. And now it's time to choose differently. Here's what I want you to do today. First, make a list of every way you've compromised yourself for this person. Read it out loud, feel it, then burn it. Second, block or mute them on social media. Not out of anger, out of self-respect. You can't heal while you're still watching their highlight reel. Third, invest that energy back into yourself. The energy you spent analyzing their texts, use it to build your business. The time you spent checking their social media, hit the gym. The emotional space they occupied, fill it with purpose. You were never unlovable. You were just giving your love to the wrong person. And the moment you redirect that love back to yourself, the moment you become the person you've been waiting for, everything changes. So break the pattern, grieve the fantasy, and finally become the high-value man you were always meant to be. The power was always yours. It's time to take it back. Now go do the work.